They are. You have my public defender yet, or are you at the jail? Probably, huh? So we'll wait and see.
I'm here.
Okay, I have a question for you. Did you see that pretrial services didn't get to talk to 9, 11, and 12, and we're wondering they want continuances? Do you have an issue with
Right.
that?
No, there's a whole air conditioning thing going on here. It took out most of the computers.
Okay, so let's continue those now and get them out of the way. So that is number 9, Felix. Maybe. Oops. Just get them out of the queue for me. I'm sorry, I'm running late, you all. Barnes. Okay. Let me get my step script ready because it looks like that's going to be happening. All right. So, what is your name, ma'am?
My name?
Your name.
Elizabeth McDaniel.
All right, Miss McDaniel. Let's see. I guess you are here on, I am seeing you today on warrants out of mental health court. And it sounds like you have another hold. So I am going to hold you on a $250 bond and appoint the public defender to represent you in city court.
Okay.
And set your next court date for June 16th at 1:45. And your city public defender will be out to talk to you about that, okay?
Okay.
And that's it.
Thank you.
Okay, that's all.
You good to go?
Yep, yep. What's your name?
Manuel Reyes Rojas.
All right. So I'm seeing you on a warrant on a shoplifting charge out of justice court. And I'm going to release you on the shoplift and tell you not to return. And I'm going to note that you're being held on something else so that they won't issue a warrant for you. And then in justice court, I'll set your next court date for June 30th at 1:30. So if you're out, come to court. If you're not, they'll figure out how to see you. Okay.
Leave me today or?
So you're getting released on this misdemeanor, but it looks to me like you've got a bond on something else. So,
Okay.
okay. Oh, and
Thank you.
yep, you can be really, you can be excused.
Okay.
And my Spanish interpreter, it looks like we continued. The one guy who needs Spanish a Spanish interpreter. Is that right, everybody? We continued Felix, so we don't need her for anything else? Okay. All right, so you can be excused.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.
Right there. It's let's see what works. Since so. Yeah. Or it's supposed to be like this. It's supposed to be good. You know, right, you know, back there.
What's your name, sir?
Sorry, Joshua Edward.
You're charged with three counts of domestic violence, disorderly conduct, and 1 count of domestic violence, criminal damage. I'm going to order you not to have any contact with the victims and not to return to their residence and not to commit any acts of domestic violence. And then I'm going to release you, and you need to be back in Marana City Court on July 9th at 10 o'clock. Warrant will issue for your arrest. You understand?
I do understand. I do have a question.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. We all live in the same residence and we all work together. I have animals at the residence. That's my only means of a home.
Well, the
If I
victim,
can't go back there,
you'll have
and this with Kylie Smith, she was the one who broke my ankle.
So don't talk to me about all this right now. Okay, you're on the record. This is what you have to do. They were given information. Pretrial couldn't contact them, but if they contact the court or the state, then they can change that. But right now, without more information, that's what I'm going to order. So you're gonna have to find someplace to stay temporarily, at least.
Okay.
All right. Okay. And that's it, sir. What's your name, sir?
Paul Garcia.
Right, you're charged with domestic violence, disorderly conduct, domestic violence, assault. And I am going to order you not to go back to the incident location and not to commit any acts of domestic violence, no alcohol or illegal drugs, and you need to come back to Justice Court on June 18th at 10:30, or a warrant will issue for your arrest. You understand?
Yeah.
All right, then you're released with
June-
those conditions.
June 18th. June 18th.
Yep, they'll give you the paperwork.
Okay.
That's it.
All
right. We'll talk to you about it. Okay. Yeah, just remember.
Go down the steps, go back next.
Next.
What's your name?
Roger.
All right, let's see. Mr. Hubert, you have a new justice court case of shoplifting and possession of drug paraphernalia. On that one, I'm going to release you. Don't go back to the incident location and come back to court in justice court on June 18th at 8:30, or a warrant will issue for your arrest. And then you have city court cases. A failure to complete diversion, the disorderly conduct, domestic violence, theft, failures to appear. So on those, I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you, hold you on a $250 bond, and your next court date will be June 17th at 1:45. So your public defender will be out to see you.
Yes.
That's it, sir. What's your name?
Michael Yanes.
Okay, Mr. Yanez, you have a warrant from 2023 in justice court for failures to appear. on a shoplift. So I'm going to hold you on a $100 bond, appoint Amanda Bynum to represent you, and your next court date will be there on tomorrow at 1 o'clock. And then on your city court cases, you have warrants. So on those, I am going to hold you on a $500 bond, appoint the public defender to represent you, and your next court date will be June 16th at 1:45. And that's it, sir.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Serena Lozoya.
All right, Ms. Lazo, you're charged with domestic violence, domestic violence assault, 3 counts. And I am going to order you not to commit any acts of domestic violence. Do not go back to the victim's residence, and
I'm on the phone, excuse me, Your Honor.
oh, I'm sorry.
This
You're
is
right.
the mother.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure
Yes.
out who wants contact and who doesn't. So let me know, ma'am. What would you like?
Okay, so she's allowed to go pick up her belongings. Her dad's gonna pick her up today if she's released, and she's gonna move in with her father. Because the other siblings that she's having the conflict with, they live there, and they can't move out until they close on their house. This is my son and his wife, and I just can't handle. I need her to get counseling for her anger. She has a lot of anger issues, and I'm not a counselor and I'm not a psychologist, but I can see the way she blew up like a volcano. I need her to get counseling.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Can her father go get her things?
Yes, he can.
And then you want contact with her?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so my understanding, ma'am, is then no contact with Ernesto is what he wanted. So Serena, I'm going to order you not to have any contact with Ernesto
Mhm.
and not to go back to the residence, and your dad can go get your stuff, okay?
Okay.
And then no acts of domestic violence, and you need to come back to court on June 18th at 10:30, or a warrant will issue for your arrest.
Okay.
Okay, and thanks for speaking up, Miss Lazoya. I appreciate you reminding me you were there. So,
Thank you.
okay, all right, then
Thank
you're released with those conditions. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, what's your name, sir?
Xavier Rodriguez.
You are charged with domestic violence, criminal damage, and 3 counts of, maybe they aren't domestic violence. Yeah, they are. Well, 1 count of domestic violence, disorderly conduct, and then 2 counts of disorderly conduct and a criminal trespass. And let me read this really quick. I am going to order you not to have any contact with the victims, not to return to their residences, no alcohol or illegal drugs, no acts of domestic violence. I'm going to appoint Caitlin Waters to represent you. And I'm gonna hold you on a $1,500 bond, and they will see you in justice court tomorrow at 1 o'clock. And that's it, sir. All right. What's your name, ma'am?
Chastity Sanders.
Yep. Ma'am, you are charged with domestic violence, assault, 2 counts of domestic violence, disorderly conduct, and then an assault and a disorderly conduct. Yeah.
What's all? Oh, I'm not guilty. Oh,
I'm entering a not guilty plea for you. That will stay.
sir.
You're gonna mess it up.
I'm going to order you not to have any contact with A. Hospitalis or L. Alexander, not to return to their residences, no acts of domestic violence, and you need to come back to court on July 9th at 10:30 in Oro Valley City Court, or a warrant will issue for your arrest. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Then you're released with those conditions.
Okay.
Okay.
From this perspective.
What's your name?
Stefan Betters.
All right. You have new charges of possession of drug paraphernalia, and then old charges of domestic violence, disorderly conduct, and criminal damage. And you failed to appear on those back in March of this year, like twice. So I am going to hold you on a $750 bond and appoint the public defender to represent you. And no acts of domestic violence. And your next court date will be June 18th at 1:30.
Thank you.
You know I do in and out dates that are the same, right? So that wasn't on that, just to be sure. All right, what's your name?
Hi, Your Honor. My name is Christopher Gardena.
All right, Carpena, you are charged with domestic violence assault, domestic violence disorderly conduct.
Yes.
And I am going to order you not to have any contact with your father and not to return to his residence.
Yes.
No acts of domestic violence. And your next court date is going to be July 8th at 9:30.
Okay.
If you don't appear, a warrant will issue for your arrest, all right?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Your Honor. Do I get to be released?
You are released. Yep.
Thank you.
I heard television. That's 7:15.
What's your name?
Victoria Labuda.
All right, you are charged with domestic violence assault, 3 counts. And let me see. All right, is this you are exchanging children kind of thing?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
I am going to order you not to commit any acts of domestic violence and not to have any contact with except as allowed by family court orders, okay? So, and your next court date will be in city court on July 10th at 9:30. If you don't appear, a warrant will issue for your arrest, all right?
Thank you, Your Honor.
At least. Purple form got very busy, didn't it? Now they want me to change it again. All right, what's your name?
Leon Monroe.
All right, Mr. Monroe, you are charged with domestic violence assault. And I am going to order you not to commit any acts of domestic violence, no alcohol or illegal drugs, and you need to come back to court on July 15th at 1:30, or a warrant will issue for your arrest. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor. What day is that? Because I have visitations on my son.
It's a Tuesday.
Okay.
All right, you're released, sir. All right, what's your name, sir?
Tim Tucker.
All right, you are charged with domestic violence, disorderly conduct, domestic violence assault, domestic violence criminal damage, and domestic violence, another disorderly conduct. And I am going to order you not to commit any acts of domestic violence. And you need to come back to city court on July 15th at 1:30, or a warrant will issue for your arrest. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, then you're released. All right, what's your name, sir?
Oh, Venezuela?
All right, you are charged with domestic violence, disorderly conduct. And Miss Gilbert, are you on the line? All right, Kayla Gilbert, are you there?
Yes.
And did you want to be heard on this case?
I was just asking for him not to be allowed back at where I'm stay or anywhere I reside basically is what he was supposed to be already doing by the other court order. And now the place where I'm at now doesn't want him back on the property at
Well,
all.
I ordered him not to go
So
back on the property last time, and yet here he was. Is that right? So,
this is a new place, yeah, basically. So
but
that's what I mean.
you still want contact?
Just interacting with the kids. So, but I just the whole thing was supposed to be he wasn't supposed to be anywhere where I stay at.
Yes.
So I don't know if that's gonna work.
All right.
It's not.
So now I am going to appoint a public defender to represent you, Mr. Valenzuela, order you not to go back to Miss Gilbert's property. No acts of domestic violence, no alcohol or illegal drugs. I'm going to hold you on a $750 bond. And your next court date will be June 18th at 1:30.
So if he why would he be housed though when he's working and everything?
He's being held
Is that-
because he doesn't know how to comply with my court orders, so. All right, come come to court too, Ms. Gilbert, if you'd like. I'd like to hear from you.
Well, that's the thing. That's why I'm asking. I'm telling you, this was a new place where I was, where we were both staying at.
Well,
There now, they don't have him there.
Well,
where
I'm
we were.
telling you that the orders were no return to anywhere you were living. And so I'm done with this conversation. We can talk more on the 18th. You can check in with my advocate, sir. If you post the bond, come back on the 18th too. All right. Thank you all. All right. What's your name, sir?
Good morning, Your Honor. Ismail Alvarez.
Okay, Mr. Alvarez. You are charged with misconduct involving weapons, prohibited possessor, and theft of stolen property. And the state's asking for a $5,000 bond. Counsel, did you want to be heard?
Just a second, Your Honor.
I mean, as I look at this, I'm thinking, really, I signed this? But I was in a hurry because I forgot I was doing these. So I'm not inclined to find probable cause and release Mr. Alvarez. But if the state, Mr. Terrace, wants to make an argument, then I will let him.
Thank you. Judge, the only argument I would make is I see where the court's coming from, but the interim complaint does list that he was in possession of a firearm. It says he's a prohibited possessor, and the pretrial services report does confirm that. So the state would ask you to find probable cause based on that.
Okay. Well, just a statement that he was prohibited possessor is not really what I usually rely on for probable cause. And like I said, I was in a hurry. But at the end of the day, I think my finding will be that there was no PC, so I'm going to release him and let the charges remain pending. Does the defense object to that?
Yes, I would ask that you dismiss it, but there's no PC.
Okay. Well, we had a big discussion about the statute and saying that he has to be released if there's no PC. And so that's where I'm coming down on that and being consistent from now on. So I will note for the record that there's no PC and that's why I'm releasing him. And then you guys can go from there. So, sir, I will appoint the public defender. I will order you not to go back to the incident location, no firearms. I can release you to pretrial services, I think. So I will release you to pretrial services. You need to report to them and you need to come back to court for your preliminary hearing June 30th at 1:30.
Thank you, Your Honor. I will be here.
That's it.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
What's your name?
Reginate Anton.
Oh, that was one of the ones we continued? Is that true? Yes, we did. We wanted to continue this till tonight, I guess, sir, because. And will you check? 'Cause I think I continued those till the morning because I work at night all the time. So will you change them to tonight? All right. So, Mr. Anton, I'm going to see you tonight because I want pretrial services to interview you first. The public defender agreed that we'd continue this till tonight. Okay. All right. Goodbye. And Barnes too. Same thing. We agreed to continue. And is there no pretrial services report on Owens? not popping up on my screen. Anyway,
Your Honor, this is Andrea with pretrial. I apologize. It looks like it got knocked out of review. Give me just a moment. If you'll refresh,
okay,
it should show up.
okay, thanks. All right, what's your name?
Marsha Cowens.
All right, ma'am, you were charged with aggravated domestic violence, and the state is asking for a $20,000 bond. Counsel, I do have the report now, thanks. Did you want to be heard?
I'm just looking at the report.
Okay.
But apparently they didn't have time to interview her, but, or they said she was uncooperative, but, her mother indicated that she's working part-time and that they do not live in the same place.
Okay. It sounds like Miss Collins is on probation for domestic violence. So I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you, Miss Collins. No return to the victim's residence, no contact with Paula Clark, no alcohol or illegal drugs, no acts of domestic violence. I'm going to hold you on a $7,500 bond. If you posted, you're released to pretrial services, and your preliminary hearing will be June 18th at 1:30.
That's it, yeah.
Sure. Next.
Okay.
What's your name?
Karina Curtis.
All right, you are charged with domestic violence, aggravated assault, and it looks like everyone agrees that I will release you to pretrial services with the conditions that no acts of domestic violence, no alcohol or illegal drugs. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you, and your next court date will be June 30th at 1:30.
Thank you.
Nope, ma'am.
All right, what's your name, ma'am?
Benita Nino.
All right, let's see. Are charged with possession of a dangerous drug, possession of narcotic drug, possession of drug paraphernalia. That's your felony. So on your felony, you may be eligible to participate in a diversion program called STEPS that requires you to participate in a plan specific to your needs for a short time. If you choose to participate and complete the program, these felony drug charges in your arrest report will be permanently dismissed without you ever being formally charged. Are you interested in are you interested in learning more about the STEPS program?
Yes.
Okay. And then,
We'll waive the pH.
waive the pH. She's got, all right, but she's probably gonna get held on some misdemeanors. She has a lot of them. Like,
I'm gonna go with more. Video message on his relationship and if they're really there to. You want to go to them now.
If she's gonna get held, and her court dates are not that close, then I'd rather not waive the pH.
okay. Let's see what her court date is on that. Her court date will be the 17th in the city court cases, and I'll probably just hold her on like a $250 bond. So what do you think?
I wouldn't be able to post it. Okay, she won't be able to post that. And there's also, I think, justice court case and an Oro Valley case.
Yeah, so let's leave. What I will do is appoint the public defender on this one. No alcohol or illegal drugs, monitoring by pretrial services, steps hearing June 17th at 9 o'clock, and preliminary hearing June 18th at 1:30 on the theory that she's going to have some holds.
Okay.
All right. Then, Ms. Dagnino, you have an Oro Valley case of shoplifting from 2024. So let's just get rid of all of these. What I'm going to do is appoint Janet Altschuler to represent you on both the Oro Valley case and the Justice Court cases so she can get these all taken care of. So, and they will see you in Oro Valley on June 11th at 10:30, and I'll hold you on $100 on that one. And then on your Justice Court case, I'm going to hold you on $100 bond. I'll see you tomorrow. And that will be at 1 o'clock. And then on your city court cases, I'm going to appoint Ms. Altschuler too, so she can represent you on everything, because that makes the most sense. And hold you on $100 bond, and that court date will be June 17th at 1:45.
Judge, since she's being held on those and she's not going to be able to post bond, can you give her $100 bond on the felony so she's getting some credit?
Ah, okay, hold on.
I don't know because here it's a court dates. Or stay in until if you can't post the bond.
All right, I will hold her on $100 bond on that one, and she will have the. Okay. All right. So the nearest court date, or I guess the furthest away court date, is that June 17th. So. All right.
That I'd be able to make all these purchases. We're going to get arrested. I don't want to be okay. And so please, I'll be able to get it. He'll talk to you. Okay. So you'll get your paperwork.
Good.
Okay, that's it.
Okay.
No, this way.
What's your name?
Randall Graham.
Part of possession of dangerous drugs, possession of drug paraphernalia. You may be eligible to participate in a diversion program called STEPS. That requires you to participate in a plan specific to your needs for a short time. If you choose to participate and complete the program, these felony drug accusations in your arrest report will be permanently dismissed without you ever being formally charged. Are you interested in participating in the STEPS program?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And can you give me a 45-day date for everybody? July 23rd. All right, counsel, you're waiving time.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so I will appoint the public defender, release you to pretrial, no alcohol or illegal drugs. The STEPS hearing will be June 17th at 9 a.m. and the preliminary hearing will be July 23rd at 1:30. And that is it, sir. What's your name, sir? All right, I have a warrant out of justice court for failure to appear on a aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and 3 counts of endangerment. and it's got a $50,000 bond. Counsel, did you want to be heard?
Judge, it looks like this is a direct complaint and warrant, not a failure to appear.
Oh, okay.
And that it's a fugitive warrant, and he wouldn't have probably known about the case. He's got one prior, but it was designated a misdemeanor. And so it appears that he at least recently was employed as a laborer. We'd ask that you consider release or lowering that amount.
Okay. All right. You're right. I'm sorry. It's a complaint warrant issued out of justice court. I didn't see it on page. It was from March 2nd of this year. Okay. Does the state have any other information that they can share with me?
Judge, the issue in summary is basically that the defendant was in a hotel room where there were firearms. It seems more than likely an accidental discharge. The bullet went through the floor of the hotel room and struck the person, the victim that was laying in a bed directly below and hit her in the arm.
Okay. So I am going to hold the defendant on a $25,000 bond, pretrial services if posted, no return to the incident location, no contact with the victim, no firearms, and appoint the public defender. And the next court date will be June 18th at 1:30 for the preliminary hearing.
That's it.
Excellent.
All right. The state's dismissing all of the charges against Mr. Ojeda at this time.
Correct, Judge.
All right. Charges are dismissed. So that is it for Mr. Ojeda.
You're good to go.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
Thank you.
Mark.
Sir.
Edward Pote.
Okay, the state is dismissing your felony charges, so that is good, but you have a bunch of city court cases. Let me look at those real quick. Let's see, you have a new driving under the influence from, well, no, I lied. It's not new. It's from August 12th, 2023 with a warrant. Drug paraphernalia, criminal trespass, drug paraphernalia, criminal trespass, drug paraphernalia. And here's, no, this is from June 7th. Yep. Drug paraphernalia, criminal trespass, and criminal trespass and drug paraphernalia. So I will appoint the public defender to represent you. And find you not guilty or hold you not guilty on all of them. Hold you on a $2,500 bond. Order you not to consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. Don't drive without a valid license. Don't return to any of the incident locations. And your next court date will be June 17th at 1:45. And the city public defender will represent you on those, all right?
That's it.
That's it.
Robinson. This way, this way. Cote, you're good to go off the pencils.
Will you fill in my dates for me on the rest of this project? Thank you. What's your name, sir?
Sergio Wilson.
Robinson, did you say?
Robeson. There's no N after that. Mel.
Robeson, I'm sorry. We have an N, but, oh wait, I just lost my step speech. And I'm going to need it. Where did I put it? Thank you. All right, so you're in charge of possession of a narcotic drug. And you may be eligible to participate in a diversion program called STEPS that requires you to participate in a plan specific to your needs for a short time. If you choose to participate and complete the program, these felony drug charges in your arrest report will be dismissed and permanently without you being formally charged. Are you interested in that?
Yes, I am.
All right, then I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. I'm going to release you to pretrial services. No alcohol or illegal drugs. I will set the steps hearing that you have to be at June 17th at 9 o'clock. And then counsel, you waiving time?
Yes.
And
Yes.
the preliminary hearing will be July 23rd at 1:30. So you need to show up for those dates, sir. Talk to your lawyer.
Thank you, Mel.
Okay.
I don't need.
What's your name?
Isaiah Samaniego.
All right, you're charged with unlawful flight and reckless driving. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. I'm going to order you not to drive without a valid license, no alcohol or illegal drugs. I'm going to release you to pretrial services, so you need to report to them, and then you need to come back to court on June 30th at 1:30, or a warrant will issue for your arrest. You understand?
Yeah, sound good.
All right, you're released.
Thank
Morning, y'all.
Morning. What's your name, sir?
Reginald Simpson.
You are charged with possession of dangerous drugs. You may be eligible to participate in a diversion program called STEPS that requires you to participate in a plan specific to your needs for a short time. If you choose to participate and complete the program, these felony drug charges in your arrest report will be permanently dismissed without you ever being formally charged. Are you interested in that program?
Amen. Yes, ma'am.
All right, then I'm going to release you to pretrial services and appoint the public defender to represent you. No alcohol or illegal drugs, and you need to report to pretrial. Your steps hearing, which is the diversion hearing, is June 17th at 9 o'clock, and your preliminary hearing, time waived, counsel?
Yes.
The preliminary hearing will be July 23rd at 1:30. So you need to stay in touch with everybody and come back to court.
Yes, ma'am. Well, going today?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank y'all. Thank you, Judge. God bless you.
Thank the county attorney. What's your name, sir?
Sue, stop ya.
All right, Mr. Tapia, you are charged with theft of means of transportation and possession of drug paraphernalia and possession of a dangerous drug. I am going to order you not to go back to the incident location, no contact with the victim, no alcohol or illegal drugs. I am going to appoint the public defender's office and release you to pretrial services. So you need to report to them and then come back to court for your preliminary hearing on June 30th at 1:30. Then you have, let's see, a 2020 case of shoplifting that you never took care of in city court, a 2023 case of drug paraphernalia, and a drug paraphernalia from April of 2024. So I will release you on the theory that pretrial services will remind you of all these court dates. And your next court date in city court will be July 17th at 9 o'clock. If you don't appear, warrants will issue again. All right? Okay.
Thank you.
Here you go. Here, doctor.
Morning, Judge.
Morning. What's your name, ma'am?
It's Ethel Turner.
All right. You are charged with domestic violence, criminal damage, and the state's recommending release to pretrial. Standing is that Ms. Castro is present. Is that true? Ms. Castro, are you on?
Yes, I'm here.
Did you want to be heard?
Yes,
You have a right to talk about what your feelings on release and contact and return. Did you want to say anything?
yes, I do, Your Honor. Thank you. I'm afraid she's gonna come back to the property and cause more damage. You know, she attacked me last night and broke 17 windows. And the main reason why I'm here is because she kept the keys to the property, and I believe she has them on her in her personal property there. I was hoping that those keys could be taken away from her before she's released.
Okay, all right. Thank you, ma'am. And I assume you don't want any contact with her and you don't want her around, right?
I don't, and I was wondering. I started last night. I began filling a petition for a restraining order. I don't know if she can be served that order right now.
Well, no, not if a judge hasn't signed it yet. So, but I will issue an order telling her she cannot return to your residence or have any contact with you, and that it has the same effect as a restraining order. So you could call Pima County Victim Services and get copies of that, I think. Is that the best way, Mr. Terrace, for her to deal with that?
Yes, Judge, that's correct.
Okay. And then what do you guys?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Do I have to call?
Yeah, Pima County Victim Services, and I probably not till tomorrow, but you should be able to find them online. So, okay. Any ideas, you guys, about the keys? Because I think that's a great idea to keep them away from her, but we don't know which key is which, right? So
There were
talk to
3
your-
keys in a keychain.
The police.
Okay. She says that the police officers took the keys, so I imagine that would not be in her property, it would be in their custody.
Okay.
So how can I get those keys?
You should call the county
Your
attorney's
Honor.
office tomorrow. Okay. Call, and that Victim Services can help you with that too. So it's all through the Pima County Attorney's Office.
Pima County Attorney's Office.
So I will say that
Very
the
well,
keys to
thank-
the victim's residence are supposedly in police custody. The defendant is not to have them in her custody. So if you have any of them, ma'am, you need to contact your attorney, make sure they get turned over, okay?
Okay.
All right, so I am going to appoint the public defender to represent Ms. Turner. I am going to order you not to have any contact with Maria Castro, not to go to her residence or work, no acts of domestic violence. I'm going to release you to pretrial services, so you need to report to them. And then you need to come back to court on June 30th at 1:30, or a warrant will issue for your arrest. And then also you can't have any of those keys in your custody, so you need to turn them over if you have them. And then Ms. Castro, you can stay on top of this case by staying in touch with Victim Services, okay?
Yes, thank you very much.
All right, thanks for coming today. All right, ma'am, you're released to pretrial.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. What's your name?
Enrique Camacho Diaz.
You're charged with possession of a narcotic drug, possession of drug paraphernalia. You may be eligible to participate in a diversion program called STEPS. It only requires you to participate in a plan specific to your needs for a short time. If you choose to participate and complete the program, these felony drug charges and your arrest will be permanently dismissed without you ever being formally charged. Are you interested in that program?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, then I will appoint the legal advocate's office to represent you. I will order you not to consume or possess any alcohol or illegal drugs, I will release you to pretrial services. So he's a co-defendant, you guys, so I'm gonna set him for that June 18th date, all right? But your steps hearing will be June 17th at 9 o'clock, and your preliminary hearing will be June 18th at 1:30. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, they did? Okay, the clerk's telling me no, that the cases got split, so I don't know why, but I will say time waived instead then, counsel, and you can, the July.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
all right, July 23rd at 1:30 will be the preliminary hearing.
So are you changing the appointment on that?
It's still the legal advocate, the clerk is telling me.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, thanks.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right, what's your name, sir?
Martin Vignola.
All right, today the state is dismissing the felony drug charges, so that is that, but you also have some city court cases, so let's talk about those. Let's see. You have a new case of criminal trespass, and then you have a shoplift and a drug paraphernalia that you failed to appear on. So I'm going to release you. No alcohol or illegal drugs. Don't go back to the incident locations and come back to court on July 16th at 2 o'clock, or a warrant will issue for your arrest. You understand?
Yes.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Logan Watt.
Charged with aggravated driving under the influence, and counsel, the state's asking for a $10,000 bond. Did you want to be heard?
Yes, Your Honor. The, according to the information that Control had, he, is a lifelong resident. He's been living at his address for 2 years. He works full-time as a welder. And, you know, even if he had a problem with that location, he could stay with his mother. We'd ask that you, I know he just finished, a misdemeanor DUI. We'd ask that you set something less than the state's recommendation.
Okay. I will appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Watt. Don't drive without a valid license, no alcohol or illegal drugs. I'm going to hold him on a $7,500 bond, pretrial services if posted, and the preliminary hearing will be June 18th at 1:30.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Sorry, I was